right, here we go. And there may have been a little screen that pops up to say that we're recording. You might need to click OK for that to go away. But welcome to the Focus Board online workshop. Awesome that you could be here, and delighted to record the session as well so that other people can have a look at this session, even if they couldn't be here in person today. Looking to really get focused on, as the name suggests, on important things in your life. So we're not just running around like headless chooks all day. We're working on important projects and taking our lives in a particular forward direction to bring those changes about in our lives. So here I am, Julie Cliff, professional organizer and declutter coach. Before running my own business, which I started 7 years ago, I was an executive assistant working at Melbourne Storm Rugby League Club for 15 years. So the majority of my time as an executive assistant and administrator was at Melbourne Storm. So helping others get themselves organised and stay organised, and realised I really enjoyed doing that. And I also found about 8 years ago now a group of professional organisers here in Melbourne whom I still meet with monthly, and found that these ladies work in people's homes to do similar things to what I was doing in the office. So I'd worked in an office for many, many years, a little bit tired of those sorts of things. And I thought I can take my skills and put them into the home and help people declutter and get focused on how they want to use their time to bring about the life that they want to live. So as I said, started my business almost 7 years ago as a professional organizer, hands-on help, and also as a declutter coach, online businesses, online workshops and programs, a 6 and 12-week program that's underway at the moment, helping people do their decluttering themselves at home, the skills and techniques they need to get that done. I'm married and have 2 boys, a 12-year-old and 15-year-old. They're doing whatever they're doing on a Saturday morning on the computers, no doubt, but I'm looking forward to getting out and about with them today now that Melbourne has come out of more lockdown after 266 odd days in the last 2 years that we've had. So it's nice to be able to spread our wings a little bit further. So that's a little bit about me and how my business came about. So today we are going to look at making life simpler and more focused by just identifying and focusing on a handful of projects to work on in the next 12 months. And so we'll talk about that. We'll go for about an hour and a half today. The content is probably about an hour, and then I've got a special offer to give to you today, whatever the word is, and to be able to continue on your journey, staying focused on your projects. Because if we don't make the time to work on these things, they just don't happen. And that's certainly what I find with my clients, whether it's my hands-on decluttering or my time management clients. Yell out and ask any questions at any time. And I would look forward to your participation, as I said, and look forward to you guys also starting to create your own board as we go along by getting a bit crafty. And so I'm just going to go on to the next one. Hello, Andy. I've just seen that you've joined us as well. Awesome for you to be here. So what is a focus board? So a focus board is similar to a vision board, but it's just a little bit simpler and a little bit more streamlined to put together. You know, typically a vision board is something you might sit down for quite a few hours at a time and think about that beautiful holiday you want to go on, or things you want to change in your business, or you know, inspiring things and projects that you want in your life. And you might find that perfect picture to represent that and put it on a big, beautiful board. Being the recovering perfectionist that I am, I find that I would get too sidetracked trying to put something big and so detailed, and I could never find the right picture for my vision board. So I came up with this idea of a focus board. It's a little bit simpler to get together, and the idea being coming up with all your ideas and things that you want to do in your life, which the picture on the left there represents. You know, lots of ideas, things you want to do, projects to work on, people to hang out with, events, you know, all of the things we try to cram into 168 hours a week, and then streamline it and just have, today we're going to look at just 9 projects we want to focus on, 9, you know, really important things in your life. Now, one of those discs we'll talk about shortly, maybe your business, or you might do a whole separate focus board for your business. And I have run this. There is a separate separate webinar about that as well, doing this specifically for your business, so you can really get down to the micro details for your business. But today we're just going to look at your life in general and go from all those ideas, and it can be so overwhelming when we've got all of that on the go at once. We just want to really drill down, find those important ones, and let's put them on one page today so we can get stuck into it. I'm a very project sort of focused person. I can't do too many things at once. I find I just get too overwhelmed. So I really do try and keep it simple for myself, and I find this works well for my clients as well. So keeping, you know, to a manageable amount of tasks at once, and also just to be able to have a little bit of order to how you're going about things and creating a plan. One of the girls that's doing my declutter coaching at the moment told me recently, she says, I find, because she's been in America, she said, I find Australians very direct. They say what they want, and you know, just get it done. And I said, well, I think we probably are a little bit like that, us Aussies, you know, this sort of get into it attitude. But I think that's probably a lot to do with myself as well. Growing up on a farm, you know, you just had to get the job done. There's no mucking around, not a real reason for a lot of words. You just get stuck in. So this is my way to just get stuck into all those important things that are in your life and make it as simple as possible, the tiniest little steps, so that you just cannot fail by keeping focus on this board. So that's what a focus board is all about. Here is mine. I'm going to run through it in a little bit of detail just to give you some ideas on what you might put on yours. But, you know, you can do yours in any way you like. Some people like to find more specific pictures, as I mentioned, to represent a part of your life. It might not even have any text on it. You just know that that red love heart represents your family, or, you know, whatever it might be. You might find images that work for you, but I just went more for colors, a little bit of text, and then I do have some specific words written on my board. I will talk more in detail about putting the discs together shortly, and you are welcome anytime with your pencils and bits and pieces to get stuck into that as soon as you like. And I'll talk about that a little bit more too. So here are just a little bit more detail about what I'm working on. My focus board for my business mainly. There's a few family ones on there. You know, for HR type things, looking at contracting, contractors documents. I have a couple of girls that work hands-on clients for me, and they go out and do the work for me, putting procedure manuals together. There's lots of marketing activities I'm organized so a part of, and I really would like to write a book one day. So I try and capture all the things that I write as often as I can to be able to put that into a book one day. So there's a few things that I have on here. Again, very business focused, because that's a big part of my life at the moment. Finance and admin. Would love to outsource my invoicing and my social media. So that's on my board and something I'm really focusing on, and keen to be able to get that out and off of my to-do list very soon. Also keen to be improve on my keynote speaking and workshop presenting. Practice is always good, but looking forward to doing some more formal training down the track for that sort of thing. So that's on my focus board. I know that's an important thing that I want to do in my business. And also I do have some online programs that you can purchase and do at your own pace. It's all pre-recorded. But I want to revamp that. So I've got those on my board as well. And these are just the last few things I wanted to share. Again, just to give you some ideas on how you might like to do it, but you can do yours completely different to mine. And I've just got a list of money generating ideas there that I'm working on with my sales coach, including, of course, the old lead magnet, following up prospects, calls, newsletters, all those sorts of things, continuing to network. And I would like to host my own sort of YouTube channel at some stage, which I need to make some more time for down the track. So again, that's just a few ideas on what I have on my board, which might help you decide what you want to put on yours or what not to. What you'll need today is the completed page if you've had a chance, or whether you haven't had a chance to do that just yet. There's the handout. The one that you would have downloaded and perhaps filled out was a 2022 projects page, and this has different topics like health, finances, spirituality and community, personal development, family, business or professional, and fun. So this would help once completed to decide what you're going to put on your board. You'd brain dump all your ideas on this page or even just on a piece of paper. And then from there, we would choose your important projects to follow on. Hopefully you've got some magazines and colored paper, some Sharpies, and maybe I'm just going to grab my plastic cup that I use. Plastic cup to draw around. You can see I've used this one a few times. It's got texture all around it to just make these colored discs. You can have your discs or, just even use Post-it notes. Do whatever you want, but I will explain shortly why I do them like these round discs. I'll explain that a little bit more shortly. You need some scissors, maybe some energizing snacks to be able to continue through the session today, and a notebook to take any notes as we're going along, or you can use your handout for that. So we're going to get started. If you have got some paper with you and to be able to start to create the discs, you might like to look for specific pictures, as I mentioned, whether it's a love heart to represent this, or it's a nice mountain to represent some family adventures you want to go on. Just have a bit of a look at the things you've got in your magazine, or maybe you're just using colored paper like I use. But, again, no right or wrong way to do this. And as I mentioned before, when I used to try and put my vision boards together, is that I couldn't ever find that perfect picture, but to represent those things that I wanted in my life. But you may have better luck than me, or maybe you're not such a, just wanting to get it right type person. So spend some time looking for those nice pictures that inspire you, if that's something that you want to do, whether it's if you want to improve your health and your well-being. Perhaps you might like to look at different, Ingrid's got her beautiful one. Gorgeous, very nice. You've spent some great time on that. It's on the wall right there. Good on you. Beautiful. So however you want to do it, find that right picture or just use colored discs, and then go about going through the discs. Maybe some will be colorful, some are black, some are white, and just make it look really appealing, so that when we're done today, we've got it right front and center and looking awesome, so that it inspires you to be able to do the things that we have done on there. As I said, don't get too pedantic. When I was putting this focus board workshop together at the beginning of the year, I was getting my youngest son to help me. And we both realized how much we like to get things just right. He was using the little plastic cup and just trying to put it on the magazine and find that just right sort of position to be able to cut it out, draw around it and have it looking nice, which takes a lot of time. And that's part of the reason why I've slightly streamlined it. So it's just not something that you get too carried away and waste time. although it is very nice to sit and relax and do the work with craft, I don't do it as much as I would or as much as I did growing up. So don't get too pedantic with it. You know, again, a couple of colors of red and yellow and white and a bit of black and white text might look really good on your board when it's done. So practice being imperfect. I think it's a great way if you have some of those tendencies to practice being, you know, maybe it's just not quite right, and that's okay. Somebody else is just coming in. That's awesome. So that, you know, the best thing to remember is there's no right or wrong with this. However it looks, it's definitely up to you and how you want it to look. So just get it done how you want to get it done. So we're just starting to get those discs to get together, and Kate has just joined us. Welcome. We're just starting to talk about putting the discs together, getting these little bits of paper, starting to get them sorted out so that we can write things on our vision board. So here we go. There's some different colored discs that we can write on and get our ideas on paper. Just be interested to hear as well if you wanted to yell out or put it in the chat box. What are you looking to learn today? And you might even just share it with yourself. Try and get a bit of intention around why you're here. Why did the focus board in just sort of appeal to you? So be interested to know your thoughts there. And beautiful. So as I say, just either pop it in the chat or yell out. Ingrid, I've got you muted at the moment. If you wanted to say anything, just come and unmute yourself. Did you want to share what you had in mind today?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how 2 days ago I just presented the educational piece in my networking group, and it's about planning. So I go from my big dream to next year to this year to today. And what I am keen to learn today is to organize my brain, just to the word focus is the key word. So I
Great.
would love to be able to focus
Good.
on something because I'm such a creative person. So I have a million ideas. I just need to do one or
Good.
two.
Yes. Yeah. You are always busy doing many things. So yeah, that'll be great. Just for your own sake, your own sanity, everybody else's in the home sanity, to be able to get that down to not quite so many projects on the go at the once. Yeah. All right, that's awesome. Thank you. So just keep that in mind as we're going along. And what probably a good thing to do, Ingrid, is to either get a lot of those ideas out onto just a blank piece of paper or on your projects page, or just start writing them on the discs. Where are my discs? Oh, hidden them away somewhere. But you can just start writing on them like a little pile of post-it notes on the discs, and then what we can do is we can start to choose your most important ones as we go along. A couple of the girls having a bit of trouble sort of dropping in and out there, but that's no problem. We can admit again. Thank you. Moving along, and so we're thinking about why we have so much on our to-do list. I just wanted to spend a little bit of time on that, and Ingrid really just hit the nail on the head where she was talking about, you know, all of those different thoughts, all those ideas, all that creative energy that we come up with. And we just have 168 hours a week. I will mention that a few times today. And we're trying to cram in a lot in our week. You know, we're looking after our families, we're looking after our work, we're looking after perhaps elderly parents, we may be volunteering, we may be doing some study. So there's so many different things that we all work together on in a week. So really we need to be clear on what those things are that are important, and then we will talk about getting them in the diary and to be able to make time to work on those things. But at the moment, I was just wanting to have a think about why we have so many things. And that really is about all those different hats that we wear: business owner, mum, wife, dad, and all of those things. So many different things that we need to do every week. And when we look at putting that time aside for all those important things, I also want you to be mindful of having some quiet time, some me time, some time to get, time to recenter, refocus. We'll continue to use that word focus. If we're always doing and not being, it's very difficult for us to be able to continue moving forward on those projects, because we just run out of puff. We run out of inspiration a little bit sometimes. We really do need to schedule that quiet time or that down time. And there's the last point there, says that you can get things done to probably a more satisfactory level, meaning it is more satisfying to yourself if we're just doing a few things at once, rather than a little bit on this project and I'm going to spend 5 minutes on that project, I'm going to run off to here, I'm going to run here, I'm going to run there, running around like a headless chook, and not being focused. It can be just end up, like a dog's breakfast, like those pictures that I showed before with all the higgledy-piggledy discs on the left, rather than a little bit more structured and a little bit more calm. And we all work so much better in that calm state, or in that flow state you would have heard different people talking about, and doing that in that calm way. When we're exhausted, when our adrenaline's going, we just don't work very well like that at all. So really trying to be mindful of how we're using our time. And we've also touched on it already with the idea of getting distracted by new ideas. I call them shiny objects. So as I mentioned, as you're cutting up your little discs and writing down your ideas, you can brainstorm straight onto your discs or onto your page. Just have a think about all of those new ideas that you come up with. Just because you come up with them doesn't mean you have to do them, and it doesn't mean you have to do them right now. Coming up with the ideas is a fun and easy part, but we want to do it in a more structured way. So get those ideas out of your head onto the piece of paper, onto your disc, and we will look at keeping focused on a smaller amount of them shortly as we move forward through this workshop. So it's really quite a good brainstorming ideas, getting them out. And as I mentioned, you don't need to do everything just because you've thought of it. There's no way you could complete every project, every new idea you came up with, whether it's a work idea, when you're working for somebody else in an office, or working for yourself, or all those awesome things that you want to do with the kids, whether it's if they're very small. I remember buying lots of educational books and thinking I'm going to sit down and teach them how to do lovely writing. And again, how many hours in the day have you got to be spending on all of these projects? And as I mentioned, I call these different ideas and things that can distract us, I call them shiny objects. All right, so we're going to have a look at our projects page, or even just some things that are coming to mind as well that you want to do in the next 12 months. I said before I pressed the record button that the year hasn't finished yet, so we still have still got more time, obviously, to get some things done. But often at this time of year is my planning stage to get ready for next year and start thinking about things to do with the kids, maybe trips to go on now that we're able to and out of lockdown, and also things to do in the business. So it's always a great planning time this time of year. So just wondering, either Ingrid, Andy, or Bobby Joe, if you want to share on some of the things that are coming to mind that you might put on your projects page.
Yep. So far, I cut out this.
Ooh, I like it.
Yes, It's not about the car. It's about learning how to drive.
Oh, of course, of course. Yes,
I cannot drive yet.
yes. How good would that be? Oh,
I know, more freedom, right?
yes.
This one, I've been wanting hot air ballooning
Yeah.
with my husband for a long time. So
Lovely.
let's just make it happen. I mean, apparently it's nearby us.
Okay.
Yeah, in Camden, apparently they do this thing. So
Awesome.
awesome. And
Yep.
this is self-care because you just mentioned that, balance, provide time for yourself as well, not just work, self-care. So far,
You're doing well. You've found some beautiful pictures there. You've got the right magazines, I think.
well, do you know why? Because I do vision board workshop, so I
Yeah.
have a ton of magazines.
There you go. You got the right gear.
Yeah.
Bobby Joe, would you like to share what you've got on yours or thinking about? What's your project page look like? You can see you're on YouTube.
I
Yep.
think I'm going to make two. So I'm going to do one specifically dedicated to decluttering,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to do a more general one about different projects.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that idea. And I think that'll help you keep more, keep you very focused in those areas as well. So yeah, a decluttering one and one for general sort of projects. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. That is really good. That looks very good. Thank you. We will continue along. We're talking about what we've already got on the list. And when I was doing mine, and the reason why I came up with the idea of creating the whole separate workshop for business owners is that, 3/4 of the things that I wrote down were for the business. So I'd be interested to know if by the time we finished it, if you have more things in one category than the other. It'd be interesting to see what that looks like going forwards. And also, as we're going along, we'd like to hear by the end of it if it's easy for you to choose those small amount of projects, just those top 9 or however many. My actual finished one is 12. I cheated a little. I stuck a few extras on the side, but sometimes it can be difficult because you're thinking that all of those things that you want to do are very important, but you don't need to do it all right now. We can have a little backlog of extra discs that you will work on when the time comes. But just for the next 12 months, let's keep focused. Oh, I just remembered where my little discs are. There might be, as I said, I use these just sort of as post-it notes as I'm going along and writing different business ideas on. And then every now and then I'll look at them and decide if I'm going to work on them or not. It just gets it out of your head so that you can decide down the track and you don't get too sidetracked. That's something that used to happen as well for me, that I think about this. I'd really like to do some research on the weight of expectations that women feel, as mothers or something like that. And so I'd go down this rabbit hole of reading about it and researching and wanting to write blogs about that sort of thing. And then, before you know it, hours have passed and you've gone off tangent a little bit. So again, great to be able to get these ideas out of your head and onto these, and then we can choose our focus and which ones are important. So continue to work on your your focus board as you all are doing in the background, and we may get it done today or we may not. Be interesting to see how you go. And yeah, continue along and make some extra discs if you like as well, and can use them as post-it notes like I do. You could even just use post-it notes if you wanted to, but I found when I was doing this as well that it's really just nice to sit and have the pretty pictures and the nice colors and taking the time to sit and breathe and look at look at your life in a slightly different way, and maybe just a little bit more creative way, that particularly than I make time to do these days. It really is something I need to put in my diary a bit more to be able to spend some more time on it. So continue on as I'm talking about how we want to use our vision board, get it right, our focus board going forwards. And when it's completed, I'd really like for you to find somewhere prominent to put it, and have it front and center so that you're looking at it often, whether it's in your wardrobe door and you can see it when you open every day, or hang it on your your bathroom wall, or wherever you look at it often, because I want this to be more than just something fun and creative that we've done today on a Saturday morning here in Melbourne and wherever you may be, and just something a little bit more than just today. It's something that we're going to continue to work on and move forward and use so that we can move in the direction that we want and create the life that we want to live. So be really interested to see. I would love to see a photo of it. Send it through to me when you're done today. By the end of the day, send me a photo and let me know how it turned out, and also where you've put it to look at. Really interesting, a few months ago when I ran this session, one of the girls said that she couldn't dare hang hers in public. She had some personal things on it that she wanted to work in private with her family on, so she really felt that she couldn't hang it somewhere, anywhere really prominent, but she was going to find a special place so she could still see it often herself. I think she may have even tucked it in her diary so she could look at it, or something important for her, but again, as long as you don't just put it away and forget about it after today, really have it somewhere front and center. I tell my decluttering and coaching clients all the time that if we're not working on our important projects every day, if we're not doing some decluttering every day, if we're not managing our time and putting the effort into those things every day, then we're probably going to be a little bit of wishy-washy about it and not move forward as we may like to. When we get off the side, we get distracted by these shiny objects, or reminiscing about the past or something like that. We want to try and stay focused on this small amount of tasks to and then put those little steps in place to bring it about every day, as Ingrid was saying about that planning, really being diligent with how you use your time. I know a lot of people can be a little bit more relaxed with their time, and that's awesome if that works for you and you're still getting the places that you want to get to. If your home is able to be in the state that you want it to be in, you're surrounded by the things that you want to be surrounded and not too much clutter, and you're managing to get all your jobs ticked off, go ahead and continue on that sort of go with the flow technique if it works for you. But I've always found that very difficult in the past. I'd rather sit on the couch all day. Once upon a time, I'd probably rather sit on the couch and drink beer all day, but I gave up drinking. So it's just sit and maybe eat some chocolate and with a coffee. So I need to be letting my calendar and my diary tell me when to get things done. Otherwise, I would just be very sidetracked. So I think I'm the laziest ambitious person you've ever met, and like to have these tools and things around me to motivate me and get the tasks done. So as I mentioned about, if you want to go with the flow, that's awesome. But if you want to be a little bit more like me and be diligent and get that time in the diary, and use an electronic reminder to go ding to get up and get things done, that's really how I run my life. And that's why I'm a professional organizer, because I think it works for me, and I know it works for a lot of other people. So this is leading into the daily maintenance of what you've written on your page. so getting clear on what you're trying to achieve really makes it clear to the universe about your intentions. We're not just saying, oh, I think I might do this. We're saying, universe, this is my picture. This is my focus board. Please provide to me these things. And the universe will start to move things into your path to be able to grab and to move to do that. It doesn't mean they're just going to fall in your lap. It will just start, you will start to see more opportunities. You will start to see things that are going to help you achieve these things that are on your list, whether it's for me, my YouTube channel that I was talking about. I did actually do a free online webinar myself this week. It was about creating a YouTube channel. So again, when you get these things on your focus board, or if you've done a traditional vision board in the past, the universe starts to present things to you so that you can start to achieve these projects. Ingrid, I got you muted. What else did you want to say? Sorry.
And you have appeared on my podcast. It's on YouTube. There you go.
Yes, that's true. I have been. I've got a couple of things on there. I'd like to do it more regularly, but yes, you are right. So we're talking about the daily maintenance. We're talking about taking all of your ideas, not all of your ideas, those ones you've decided to put on your focus board today, those important ones, those top projects, take it from that board and put it into your daily life. One way that I do that, I've been a bit slack lately, but really keen to get back into it. I would sit down every morning and I would write them down as though they'd already happened. So it would be that I am an exceptional keynote speaker. I am an exceptional wife and mum. I am a successful web TV host, those sorts of things. So writing them down every morning just to remind yourself that that's what you're working towards, and to make it clear again to the universe that that is what you are striving towards. And it just means that you're setting yourself up. I think morning is an awesome time to do, or perhaps before you go to bed, so that your mind is just thinking about these things every day. But it's really showing yourself as well that you are fair dinkum about this. You're not just mucking around and, again, having a few nice things written on a piece of paper. I really want to get this done. I really want to get my decluttering done. And I love Bobby Joe's idea of having, a dedicated board to decluttering. It's awesome, because that means that she's focuses, and she's, as I said, fair dinkum. She's, really committed to it, and being committed to moving towards your life that you want to live. And the idea is as well, when you've got such a clear list of your things written down, if somebody asks you to do something outside of those projects, or something else comes up in your mind, you can easily say, no, I'm sorry, I don't have time for that project right now. You don't need to give people any more excuse than that. It might be someone asking you to volunteer for something. You might be asked to take on some more work. You might be asked to do something else with the family. To be kind to yourself and stay focused, and have a look at your board and go, does that fit in there? Let's see. And if it doesn't, sorry, I just can't take on that project right now. Doesn't mean you will never. It might just be written on one of your little discs in your pile of projects to look at down the track. But occasionally it might come up that it really is an awesome opportunity. What you probably would need to do then is to replace something that's already on your focus board with that new opportunity. So whether it was an opportunity to present a series of workshops for myself for a big organization or something like that, then I might go, okay, well, I might put aside, maybe networking might have to go by the wayside for a little while, just so that you have the time to be able to focus on that new project. So I think that this daily maintenance tip of avoiding shiny objects can really be helpful to stay focused, because you look at your board and go, no, it doesn't fit on the board. What you're asking me or the ideas I've just come up with is not a part of those important projects. I'm going to say no, take a pass at this time. So this daily maintenance has all been about, as I said, taking it from the board, the focus board, and into everyday life. Just for a few examples, if you wanted to say eat healthier, you might need to spend some time, or I would thoroughly suggest and highly recommend sitting down and doing meal planning. So write down what you're going to eat each day. And that includes your breakfast, lunch, dinners, and snacks, and get them on a meal planner, which then you can turn into a shopping list. You can either go and buy it at the shops or create that list as a recurring list to be able to have delivered at home. So that could be an awesome step towards healthier eating for you and your family. Again, taking those ideas, what you've got on your board, and bringing it into your life. Yeah, and the same goes if you wanted to get fitter and do more exercise. Well, first thing to do is put it in the diary, the time of day that you are going to do that exercise. I get up at 5:40 every weekday. This morning was even earlier than that. I just woke up. It's normally a bit later on the weekend, but my alarm goes off. I'm up. I do my stretching. I watch some telly, some usually renovation projects on telly, a bit of interest of mine, and do my stretching, go for my run or my walk, depending on the day, or my workout, and then I'm back and start to get into my day. So that's a very focused part. It doesn't need to be on my board because that's just part of my daily life, but it's certainly in my diary. If there was something else you wanted to do, as Bobby Joe said about doing some more decluttering. So, well, what time of the day are you going to do that? What time of the week? Are you a morning person? Are you an afternoon person? And literally make an appointment in your diary and stick to it, just as though you were going to the doctor or something like that. Just getting it off of the board and into your life, and those tiny baby steps that you just can't muck up, that you can't fail on, for you to move towards these awesome things that you're writing on your board today. There's a few other ways that you can stay focused on the projects. One way is to use reminders in from your online calendar. Or if you are a paper diary person, you might write it all over your diary, or do some nice, artwork or something to think about these projects. But I have different reminders during the week that pop up to say, put the washing on. And 7 o'clock in the morning will be reminders for the kids as far as, Thursday's library day and those sorts of things. So if you, again, are diligent and wanting to take it off of the board and into your life, what time of the day is that going to be? And put it in your phone as an alarm that pops up. And as soon as that alarm goes off, up you get and go and get stuck in. Really try not to go, oh, I just need 5 more minutes. If you do need 5 more minutes, put a timer on, but try and get yourself a little bit more regimented. I was talking to a friend of mine recently who is a little bit more of a go with the flow type person, but she's taken on a new job and starting a new business. And so she knew that she needed to get more organized with her time. And as she was starting to block out chunks of time to do these new projects, she said that her adolescent self did not like it. She really was procrastinating. She's getting grumpy with herself. As I said, that adolescent self really wasn't happy. But once she'd put a timer on for a few minutes, she would start to relax and get into it, and knew that she could do it. But she really didn't like being told when to get things done. But hopefully it's not such a struggle for yourselves. But also another technique is you might want to change your lock screen on your phone. Mine says, be present, decisive, and inspiring. So you might like to take a photo of your most important disc when we are done today, and have it so that every time you go and look at your phone, go to check the time, or just go to press the button, because we're so in tune to do it these days, that you are reminded of what that most important thing in your life is right now, being present, decisive, and inspiring. Be interested to see what you want to put on as your most important by the end of the session. And also mentioned this one before about knowing yourself and knowing the time of day that will suit to work on each project. A lady I was helping hands-on decluttering yesterday has a lot of paperwork she needs to get through, and she knew that afternoon at 3 o'clock was the best time for her. So she was going to put an alarm in her phone, 3 o'clock each day of the week, to sit down and sort her paperwork. And just for 15 minutes, if she had more inspiration after that, she would continue on. But she really just wanted to start with 15 minutes so she can get that momentum and continue to work through her paperwork. So as I said, that time of day worked for her. I have a friend who I've known for about 15 years. She always went to the gym first thing it wasn't first thing in the morning. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. So by the time she'd been to the gym, came home, had a shower, it was like midday. So half the day was gone. And she sort of realized that by starting her gym session earlier in the day, she would end up with a little bit more time in the day to do other things. So she turned herself into a morning person. So I know it certainly can be done, but by changing how you want to look at how you want to use your time. But don't ask me to do anything past about 8 o'clock. I get very tired in the evenings after getting up very early. I start to wind down. And as I say, in such a good routine, into bed just after 9:30, and asleep about 3 minutes after that. So as I say, don't ask me to do too much in the afternoon. So I'm sure you're similar as well, as far as you know which times of the day that you are best to tackle some of these projects. Morning, midday, afternoon, weekends. Just be mindful of getting that into the diary as well. But also I wanted to talk about getting some support around yourself to be able to continue this, and also thinking about what your surroundings are. So it might be that you need to set up some new processes around yourself. So if you want to work on, say, getting healthier, it might be, putting your gym gear out first thing in the morning so it's ready to jump into. So what else do you need to help you with that? Do you need a new, do you need to find a gym bag that you've got? Do you need a towel? Do you need all of the, the different things that you would need to make you successful in that particular project that you're working on? And what do your spaces look like? Where are you going to do some of these projects? Do you need to clear off your desk? Do you need to declutter your desk? Do you need to file some paperwork? Do you need to create a nice surrounding to be able to get some of these projects done? Just to be able to free up your space, free up your mind a little bit, so that you can allow your mind that creativity break to be able to get these done. As I mentioned, much easier to function when we're not stressed, when we're not anxious, and really just having that space and that time, as my business name suggests, to be able to get stuck into these. So as I say, see what other structures that you need around you. Like when I get to the time when I'm going to write my book, I'll get into a book writing group and get more people around me that are doing the same, and get even more focused on that. And I'm sure I would clean up a space that's dedicated for writing, those sorts of things. So I really want to, in this particular point and after today, think about what's your surroundings looking like, and are they supporting you in being able to do these particular things that we've got on there. And yeah, getting people on board, as I mentioned, whether it's a friend, a family members, somebody like that that can help keep you accountable, or whether it's something a little bit more structured, like the group declutter coaching program that I've got going. I've got a new one starting next week. It's just a 6-week program. If you wanted to get into that, to do your decluttering, a bit more accountability, to be able to clear these spaces so that you can get stuck into these projects, so that you've got the right surroundings to get you on your way. And again, taking stuff off of the board and into your life. So those surroundings and your environment and what you surround yourself with really is important for your progress going forwards. Moving along. And then there's on the handout as well, and if you haven't got the handout, you could just write it on a piece of paper to have a little think about making a commitment. And I'm a big one in my declutter coaching. We spend a couple of weeks talking about your commitment to being organized, because it doesn't just happen. It's not, there's no magic wand. You really need to put the time in. So this your commitment chart has a little thing to fill out and saying, what will you do in the next 15 minutes that will help you accomplish these tasks? What will you do in the next hour? What will you do in the next 24 hours? What will you do in the next 7 days? And we all know the idea of writing down our goals really helps us get them clarified, and has a lot higher chance of happening if we've got them written down. So certainly make some time to after we finish today to complete that commitment chart, because if it's not in the diary, it doesn't happen. And that's what I always used to tell the executive director and CEO when I was at Melbourne Storm, supporting them as an executive assistant, that if they didn't tell me about a lunch that they had on, or a meeting they needed to go and it wasn't in the diary, as far as I was concerned, it did not exist. So it was very important that they would communicate those changes to me. And this is a few years ago now that I was doing that work, and we were using paper diary the majority of the time. So it was even probably a little bit more difficult to communicate to each other. People can put things straight in their electronic diary now. But my point being, make this commitment to moving forward and bringing about these projects into your life. So we talked about, I'm just going to do a little bit of a summary before we have a chat about how you're going. And I've got it, as I mentioned, special offer to make for you today, so we can be even more committed to be going forwards and working on these projects. Is that we had a really good think about where all our to-dos come from. And we mentioned that, we're running businesses, we've got family, there's all sorts of different hats that we wear. So it's awesome to be able to brain dump it all out, whether it's on a page, whether it's on these little discs. Just get it all out of your head so that we can put it in some sort of order. And that's and get, as I say, get it out of your head onto the page, because having it swimming around and around is just really overwhelming. So I also want you to stay focused and make time in your diary to work on these projects every day, because if it's worth doing, if it's something that's going to make you money or make your life easier, or your family, you want to become closer to them, so you're making a commitment to work on something in particular with them, whether it's going on adventures, whatever it might be with the family, we really need to get that time in the diary. Otherwise it doesn't happen. And also, as I mentioned, you might like the idea of sitting down each morning and become very focused and setting that intention for the day by writing down your projects, like I was saying, and write them down as though they have already happened. Like, I am an exceptional wife and mum. It might be, as I said, about being fit and healthy. It might be I am strong and healthy, whatever, but make it specific and write it as though it has already happened. So these are a few different ways that we can take stuff off of the board today, again, out of your head and into your life, and start moving towards them. And as promised, I was going to mention to you about a program that I'm running one-on-one with people to help them take it from the page into your life and keep focused after today. So I would be interested to think how you're feeling about your projects now. Maybe Bobby Joe, you might like to start. How are you feeling about your projects that you've got on, you've started, and how you're feeling about tackling them?
I like the idea of making a list, and I think I might do mine the day before, like in the evening before I go to bed. Just because I have a full-time job during the day, and then right after work I can get started on whatever the project for the day is.
Yeah, love it. Yep, let's write it down at night. Again, your brain does all sorts of awesome things at night when you're sleeping. So if one of the last things that at night that you've just read to yourself that those things have happened, your brain will figure out a way to make it happen. Yeah. Ingrid and Andy, how are you feeling about tackling your projects? Are you feeling a little more focused?
Yeah. So what I've, just to give you an idea of what I've done, and again, I've got ideas of things that would fall under each category, but I've sort of started doing my own up as a pyramid.
Lovely.
See that?
Yeah.
So what I've got on the bottom is I've just tried to identify things that are either, if they don't go on track, are going to disrupt everything else.
Yes, the foundation.
Foundation ones. And not only will they disrupt, but also they'll be always sitting in the back of my mind as things that I haven't done and things that I know that are important to do. So getting them that away actually frees up mental energy and time as well.
Yep.
So the first one I've got is finances. So finances, like for example, we've just bought a house beginning this year. So the things I'm thinking about is, well, when the interest-free period runs out in 2 years, the low interest that we've got at the moment runs out in 2 years. Where do we need to be in order, say, if they increase interest rates and whatever, which is highly likely. Also, things like I'm looking at my super, I'm looking at my I'm looking at life insurance at the moment. I'm looking at a whole range of things that will protect us, sort of moving forward.
Great.
Different types of insurance and things like that. The second one, foundation one I've got, is relationships. So that's in terms of me and Ingrid, in terms of time together and what we do based on that, and also with kids as well. So I think that's important. Third one I've got is health. I've actually put on about 9 kilos since I've been in lockdown, which I want to try and sort out. I've always been particularly the last 3 or 4, 4 or 5 years, I've been doing lots of exercise. So I've kind of since we were looking at building the house, moving into the house and whatever, I've kind of let that slip a bit. So I want to try and get that back on track, because again, if without your health, other things just become too difficult. The fourth one I got down at the bottom is time. So time could, because that's again something that you continuously need to free up and find better ways of doing things, reprioritizing. It could be that's where also decluttering falls into it as well. How much time you spend continuously cleaning up your house, putting all the knickknacks away, or trying to find things is wasted time if you can't find things, and so forth. So that's the bottom right, and then I'm moving up to things like business. I've got business, so that's actually helping Ingrid with her business. Also includes me thinking about in terms of what I want to do sort of moving forward. You know, what happens if my employment runs out, or in terms of, you know, I get made redundant or things like that. What other skills do I want to have? What do I want to be doing sort of moving forward to feel valued, and you know, and also all that sort of stuff. Holidays, you know, or you got to have the foundation stuff, but also you got to live in the now as well.
Yeah.
Not just have it, you know, throw everything into the future, which may not happen.
Yep. Yes.
And then I'm working on I'm trying to think what the next one is going to be, and then again it's pyramid. So I hope, again, it's not necessarily yeah, it's and again, these bottom ones are ones that you continuously work on.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's you because, you know, your circumstances do change as well as you go.
That's
So-
awesome. Love the pyramid idea, and you've got some great ones on there to help you with that foundation that'll, as you say, make the rest of your life so much easier if you can get them under control, or, you know, focused on.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's also sort of, you know, trying to think forward about, well, you know, you can't obviously predict everything that's going to happen in the future, but you can to some degree make yourself a bit more bulletproof.
Yeah.
So that if things do go in a different direction, then you've got levers that you can pull.
That's right. Yep. Get those systems set up and
Yeah.
those firm foundations, and then you can deal with a bit of a wobble every now and then. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. Really good. And finish that off and have that front and center somewhere, so that all those important things are right there to remind you every day that to be able to keep focused on it.
Yeah, and the other thing is with those bottom ones is once they actually get established, is that you know, I could even put those to the side as being things to revisit, but then
Yes.
that wouldn't necessarily be my primary focus. They would
No.
be things that I look at maybe every 12 months or every 6
Yep.
months or whatever, rather than and just assess where I'm at with them.
True.
Not something I necessarily have to, you know, have front and center
That's right.
once it's systemized.
Yeah. Good. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And so wondered for all of you as well, what your what's your aha moment? What have you sort of come across and you thought, oh, I hadn't thought about that in that way? Or Ingrid, have you been a little bit of nugget of wisdom you'll take away today?
You did mention about, mind you, when you were talking, I was busy stuck in this thing, which I'm very happy about. In terms of focusing on the time of the day that you are most effective and efficient on. First thing in the morning, like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, my brain just like boom. And then in the evening, you know, it's just like, don't talk to me.
Yeah. I hear you.
I become like jelly. So with my work, I do work until late at night, but the good thing is with my work, I can, because I do touch a lot of people, so I can just touch people and be present and don't have to use my brain so much. So I go onto my phone first thing in the morning. I know some people advise not to do so, but I just can't help myself to grab my phone the first time that I open my eyes, simply because there's so much in here that I have to do it.
Yes.
Either communicating with my VA or posting something or replying to something, and just accept that is who I am. That I am much better first thing in the morning than any other time in the day.
My question to you though, Ingrid, do you set yourself a boundary with it though? So in other words, that's fine. If it works for you, it works for you. Do it.
Yeah.
But do you do it consciously, or do you fall down the rabbit hole where suddenly 3 or 4 hours, 3 hours or 4 hours disappear, and suddenly you realise that you're looking at cats when you don't?
Yeah. That's a good question.
I'm not sure how you got there. So
yes.
So long as it's it actually does work for you.
Yeah.
And that you're aware and you're conscious when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Not slipping into the unconscious. Then it's fine. That's what.
Yeah.
They're
Setting
actually
boundaries is another thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a very wise man, so I do need to find the balance between, yes, my brain is saying work now, otherwise in 10 minutes time I don't function anymore. And also the balance of being sucked in, especially in social media. Oh my god, yes, I can definitely, I'm an addict, so I can go into the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Like, 3 hours have gone past, what I have done? Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you might, as you're suggesting, maybe whether you've got a list of things that you're working on in that time, as Andy says, being conscious about what you're working on, or whether it's a time limit you give yourself. One of those or both of those things might be helpful as a boundary.
Yeah, and because sleep also is important, right? So I sleep rather late because of work and etc. And I wake up super early in the morning, so I lose sleep, and no wonder all day I feel tired.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a trap, isn't it?
Resting enough.
But,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, Ingrid crashes hard. Like she gets tired and she just collapses. But then she wakes up and she's completely wired. When she wakes up, she's like her brain is going in overdrive. So the only thing I can suggest is to make sure you get enough time, Ingrid, is you've got to get to bed early.
Yeah. Yeah, and if that's the case, yeah, just need to find another time of day to do that work that you are doing late at night, to be able to schedule it in. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those late night clients are money, so I just need to find clients in other ways. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for that, Bobby Joe. What was your aha moment during the session?
Sorry, first I have to say you guys are in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually in Manitoba, Canada. So the current time here is 7:13 on Friday night. So my aha moment, I have to say, was that you guys are actually Saturday morning.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that has nothing to do with the workshop, but I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yes.
I was like, wait a minute. Like, you guys are on a totally different day.
That's right.
I think the biggest help for me is just going to be the board itself and just having that visual reminder, because there's like a million to-do lists in your head, right? But if you can see that, it's like, okay, I got to go do this.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be super helpful, just to have that visual reminder, because you know what, you can make notes and you can put stuff in your calendar, but it's so easy to hit dismiss. Whereas every time you walk by your board, it's going to be like, oh, you have to do this, like a flashing light, so to speak.
Love it. Yeah, that's awesome. Well done. Have you got somewhere in mind that you'll hang it then?
I'm not totally sure, because I don't want to just have it out there for everyone to see. So I think I might put it in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Kind of like we have like a bathroom off the bedroom, so no one else will see it because no one's in there, but I can just kind of put it outside the door to the bathroom, and then every time I go to the bathroom, I'll see it.
Great idea. Yeah, nice and prominent, but not everybody has to see it. That's great. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So also just wanted to flick through here and tell you about the next program that I'm offering for you to be able to take what we've learned today into your everyday life. And that's a 6 weeks get and stay focused program. So it's one-on-one coaching, this one, rather than group coaching. And it's all about taking what you've learned today and then put it into your daily life. So I would like to make that offer to you. 1 hour session every week, which is valued at $1,200. A call to me each week that says, oh, Jules, I really need some help. I'm trying to do this at the moment. Which is in addition to that one-on-one hour, which would be via Zoom. That call to me, there's a workbook and a 30-day checklist. And also there's a private Facebook group that you and I would be able to share of different things that come up during the time that we're working together and in between sessions. So those one-on-one sessions are great for the accountability, And then you've got the 15-minute sort of check-in, and then the Facebook. So there's lots of accountability around with this 6-week program, Get and Stay Focused, so that you can, as I say, I've said it a lot of times, but I want to take it off of the board and into your life, not just something that's nice hanging on the wall, not just something fun that we've done today. It's really interesting that we're, being able to take it off of the board and into our lives. So that program normally sells for $13.97, but a special offer today just for $8.97 for those 6 sessions and all those other goodies thrown in. I've got some awesome people working on that program with me at the moment, including, where is she? Andrea. And Andrea was really working on a lot of her clutter, coaching through her clutter one-on-one, and she had so much to do at the start, and it was really stressing her out. And now we've been able to work through and give her the tools to be able to do the work herself and stay focused and do those tiny little things each and every day to declutter and get herself organized, and also to get her weekly planner sorted out. So she's a mum with 3 young boys and work and juggling full-time work. So we made a planner for her so that she knew which time of the day she was working on different projects for the kids and for herself, and able to move forward and get the best out of her day, and learning to say no to more requests, which was a big and awesome thing. So again, just quickly running through 6 weeks to get and stay focused. If you'd like to, as I say, more than just a fun thing to do today, let's work together and do this 6-week program together. 1 hour one-on-one coaching, the Save Me Call workbook and Facebook group, just for $8.97. So let me know if you would like to take up that option, and I'll send you the link to get that sorted out. But also I'd just love to have a chat to you if you're interested, so that we can sort that out for you. Make a time to get that happening. We can do another Zoom chat and figure out how that works. And so that's where we are at the end of the session, and we're doing really very well for time. Absolutely right on the money. I'm going to stop sharing. Anyone got any questions with that program or anything that we have done today?
Well, I would like to share my board if I can.
Oh, please do. Yes.
And stand over there.
Yeah.
You're a whiz. Look at you just whipping that up in the session. Good
I
job.
love
Oh,
this.
look.
I'm so excited because I'm highly creative.
Yes.
So I start with this one. The end of the year goal is this one: filling 5 couples into my couples retreat, because the couples retreat is in February.
Awesome.
And then for 2022, I want to work with 100 couples in various ways.
Yeah.
Whether it's one-on-one coaching, couples retreat, couples massage lesson, or whatever capacity, right?
Right.
And then 2 books. One is about food, building a relationship through food, and
Yeah.
one is about Reclaim Your Inner Goddess. So
Awesome.
the Reclaim Your Inner Goddess book is in progress. The second one will start next year. So 2 books, no more.
You're amazing.
Happy clients.
Awesome.
Happy clients equals happy Ingrid.
Yes.
Driving, well, God knows 1,000 people told me that, Ingrid, you need to learn how to drive.
Yeah, that'll be so good.
So good for you. Yeah, I know.
Good for me.
Good for you.
Yes, the taxi driver behind you will really appreciate that.
Thank you. And as a relationship coach, well, a date with my husband is really important.
Yeah.
But because of lockdown, we've been slack, very, very slack about that.
Yeah.
Self-care is very important to me, because without self-care, I just die because I work so hard. Save for Japan. Well, that's 2023.
Awesome.
We're going to Japan, so we better save some money
Yeah.
for that. But in the center, I put me.
Awesome. Having fun. Yeah.
Whether it's decluttering with you or whatever.
I'm glad you find that fun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, I do need to shift the energy of
Yeah.
like, oh my God, so much mess. It's like, oh, hang on a minute. I have
Yep.
someone to go through things with me. I am
Mm.
having fun.
Right.
So, yeah, having fun is one of the most essential ingredient in my life because
Yeah.
without fun, why am I doing all this thing?
That's
Yeah,
true.
but that's my board.
Thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
Pleasure.
Good day. Bobby Joe, did you have any other questions or anything else to add?
No, I don't. I just want to thank you so much for your time and all your ideas and suggestions and information.
You're welcome. So have a great night and awesome to see you. Andy, did you have any other questions or have you done added any more to your pyramid?
No. Further up the chain, it's going from things that are going to be more specific to things that be more vague. I think at the top of the pyramid, it's going to say Nirvana or something.
And I don't think you mean the band.
No.
Good on you. Well, I'd love to see a photo of them done. So take a photo, let me know where you've put it and send it through. Keep in mind that one-on-one coaching, and as I mentioned, Ingrid's already doing the 12-week program, but I've got a 6-week program starting next week, the 10th. Bobby Joe, if you'd be interested, it's at the same time of the day that we're doing now on a Wednesday morning, so that would be Tuesday afternoon your time. So let me know if you're interested, as well as the one-on-one Get and Stay Focused program. So been awesome to see you all. And there will be other people that are watching this recording. So when we send it out this afternoon, let me know if you've got any other questions, and I look forward to seeing a photo of your finished board and seeing how you go in the progress of it. Thank you. I'll let you get back to your day and your evening.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye,
Thank
Ingrid. See you,
you.
Andy.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bobby Joe. Lovely to see you.